Emma had always believed in love, trust, and the sacred vows of marriage. She and Jake had been together for 5 years, and while their relationship wasn't perfect, she had always thought they were happy. Lately, though, things had begun to change. Jake was coming home late, barely speaking to her, and always seemed to be glued to his phone. At first, she ignored it, convincing herself that he was just stressed from work. But as the days turned into weeks, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. One evening, determined to bring back the spark in their relationship, Emma decided to surprise Jake with a romantic dinner. She spent hours cooking his favorite meal, setting the table with candles, and even dressed up in the red dress he once said he loved on her. She sat at the table, waiting for him to walk through the door, her heart filled with hope. But as the hours passed, that hope slowly began to fade. It was nearly midnight when she heard the front door creak open. She rushed to greet him, only to be hit with the strong scent of perfume, one that she didn't wear. Jake avoided her eyes as he mumbled an excuse about working late. Her stomach twisted, but she forced a smile and told him dinner was waiting. He barely acknowledged her, instead walking straight to the bedroom, leaving her standing alone in the dimly lit dining room. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. Her mind raced with suspicions she had tried so hard to suppress. The next morning, while Jake was in the shower, she hesitated for only a moment before picking up his phone from the nightstand. Her hands trembled as she unlocked it. What she found made her heart drop. Dozens of messages, flirty texts, pictures, plans to meet up, and worst of all, a message from just an hour ago. Can't wait to be with you for good. She won't suspect a thing. Tears blurred her vision, but she refused to break down. Instead, something inside her shifted. She wouldn't be the naive wife who turned a blind eye. She needed a plan. Over the next few weeks, Emma played her role perfectly. She acted normal, even affectionate, never giving Jake a reason to suspect that she knew. While he was out, she met with a lawyer, gathered evidence of his affair, and secured their finances. She quietly transferred money into her own account, made copies of every important document, and ensured the house was legally in her name. On their 6th anniversary, she planned one final surprise. She booked a reservation at the most expensive restaurant in town, the kind of place Jake had always wanted to take his mistress, but never could afford. She dressed in the same red dress, this time not for him, but for herself. When he arrived, she greeted him with a warm smile, the kind that made him believe she was still clueless. Over dinner, she watched him with quiet amusement as he bragged about work and pretended to care about their marriage. Then, as the waiter poured their wine, she reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. "Happy anniversary," she said sweetly. Jake smirked, expecting a heartfelt letter, maybe tickets to a vacation. But when he opened it, his face drained of color. Inside were divorce papers, a detailed list of his infidelities, and a financial breakdown that left him with almost nothing. Emma leaned in, her voice calm but firm. "I know everything, Jake. And before you even think about fighting this, let's just say I've made sure you have no case," he stammered, his confidence crumbling. "Emma, She stood up, tossing a few bills on the table. "Dinner's on me," she said with a smirk. "Consider it my last act as your wife." As she walked away, she didn't look back. The weight on her chest lifted, and for the first time in months, she felt free. What happened next shocked everyone. Jake's mistress left him as soon as she realized he was broke, and he found himself alone, with nothing but regret. Meanwhile, Emma thrived. She moved on, built a life she truly deserved, and never once looked back at the man who had taken her for granted.